Hey everybody, welcome back. And so anyways, just know that, we're not down in the jungle here, but we know that things may change. So we're all getting fitted for these fig leaves, okay? Because things may go back to the way they were hundreds of years ago, where we're just gardening and, hunting. And then we may not have anything, but at least we're not going to freeze down here because the ladies are starting to make fig leaves for us. And as you can see, mine's going to fit just right. Okay? So are you ready for change? Because you better be. A lot of people say, I hate change. Well, this would be a bad time to live. Okay? Embrace change, okay? But embrace the change inside first and foremost, and mind your own business. And that's what we're really going to need to do. Because if we don't, it's going to be a really bumpy highway, okay? So if you're not going to change, you're really going to have to buckle up, and you're not going to like to ride, okay? So what I want to talk about is the highway of life, okay? Now understand something, just so you know, it starts at the front door, okay, and ends in the back door. And this tube that is over 30 feet long is the only thing in your body that, it's a tube and it has access to the outside world. That's the only thing. So if it has access to the outside world, what if you weren't using your brain on what comes in the front door? Right? What if you didn't know how to guard what comes out of your mouth, what goes in your mouth? Okay? Something to really think about. And understand something. We're gonna take a little trip down the highway, okay? And we're gonna come all the way down. We're just gonna walk through. I'm not gonna go into it in great detail, but a lot of people don't understand this. This was actually designed by Nat, my graphic artist, and we kept bouncing back and forth for about 3 months to build this. We wanted to build something that was beautiful and something that would explain things and make it really clear to people, because people don't understand their body, and you really should, It's yours. It's not just your body, it's your buddy. What do you think about that? It's your buddy. So why are you trying to kill it? Why are you hurting it all the time? Why every time when you go and say, let's celebrate, you're always poisoning yourself? Because it's so easy to program a human doing. If you're not alert, if you're not in the conscious moment, I can get you to eat anything. I can get you to think anything. I can get you to do anything. I can get you to hurt yourself and hurt everybody else. Oh, wait a minute, isn't that what's going on? Right. So the reality is, let's talk about it first. Let's start up here. Let's talk about the human brain. The human brain is only open for business 10%. 10%. So 10% of the brain is open for business for anything new. 90% of the brain is just a big storage shed where they can fill it full of shit from 0 to 7. And they do. They fill it full of that. Lies, deception, corruption, contamination, confliction, to the point that families aren't really family. They think they are, and they look like it, because every family's pretty well messed up. And you can say, well, mine isn't, and then I'll say, well, you're really unconscious. And the reality is, we've always been slaves to these elite psychos. And the reality is, they've got us to think the way they want, see what they want, smell what they want, eat what they want. So while we're doing everything for them, we've been slaves for them since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of time, we've been slaves. You've never been free. You've never been free. They programmed you to do everything, eat everything, drink anything that they want. They use anxiety, okay, to get you going, okay? They put, well, look at this. I mean, there's a convenience store on every corner. There's more liquor stores than you can shake a stick at, more than when I was younger. You had to drive to look for the liquor store. It's everywhere. The convenience stores are everywhere. The vaping is everywhere. You can buy marijuana everywhere. They're like pizza places. You can get pizza everywhere. Okay, so you can get anything that's bad for you on every corner, any corner. Okay, you can get jacked up on coffee every block. Okay, I'm not going to make it to the next block. That's okay. Here's another one. We no longer regenerate, we stimulate. And we're all looking for stimulation. The only way you can regenerate is be in the conscious moment. The only way you can generate is to find peace when you're eating, when you're sleeping, when you're talking, when you're walking. And they're going to try to keep you from that. So the reality is, if I can keep you in an anxious state, you can't digest. If I can get you in fight or flight or fright, you can't digest, because all your blood goes to your arms and legs. So should you eat when you're anxious? Should you eat when you're tired? Should you eat when you're angry? Okay, so it doesn't matter if you eat organic. It doesn't matter if you cooked it, if you grew it and you made it yourself and you put all the love into it. The condition you're in when you eat puts the vibration into the food, overrides everything. It's done. How many friends do you have that are eating totally organic, they're totally obsessed with eating right and drinking right, and their life is a mess? I would rather unconditionally love myself and not give a damn about anybody else, and I'll be healthier than the person who eats organic and does all the supplements. It's a true story. But if you unconditionally love yourself, you're not going to eat poison anymore. Well, just a little bit. You know, you might do a little bit here and a little bit there. But look at the things we do. How many here people drink wine? Please don't put your hands up, because it's almost everyone. Yeah, look at this. Just wanting to do it. Just, come on, give me a chance. Okay? All right? This isn't AA, okay? Stop. Don't you just love that? Hi, I'm Jim. And I'm an alcoholic. I've been an alcoholic, for 30 years. Meanwhile, the guy hasn't had a drink for 20. So just understand, it's all rigged. It's all rigged. Who in the hell would want to join an organization like that? Hi, I'm Jim. I'm going to punish myself so you don't need to. Yeah. I've done almost everything wrong, so I'd be like up there all night. Hi, I'm Daryl. I stole, I cheated. You know what I mean? I sold drugs, right? I stole from my mother, right? I lied to everybody, right? No, I'm not. We make changes. So understand, unless you change, nothing changes, okay? Guilt, when's the last time guilt did anybody any good, okay? So the reality is this, the vibration you are is the vibration of the food. I would rather you eat crap, okay, and be in a really good place, because your frequency will rise the vibration of that. We already know that. You go and eat the best food you want, but feel crappy, and you just, who cares? Doesn't matter. Okay, you still can't digest it. Okay? Because vitamin L is the only thing that heals us. I enjoy eating because we get together with people, and I like tasting things, but I actually don't eat to be healthy. I don't eat to be unhealthy, but I am the supplement. Self-love and self-care is the supplement. There is no other supplement. That is the supplement. So anyways, yeah, like people drink a lot, right? They do. Wine is really cool, especially with women, right? It is. I can remember when I was going to yoga all the time, all the women at the end of yoga would meet at the doorway and talk about the latest wine that came out. Oh, did you taste that one? Did you taste this one? Talk about unhappiness. Talk about unhappiness. Drown your sorrows. Take the edge off. I'm more fun to be with. I can't face things. I saw this yoga teacher when I was going to yoga a few years ago. And I saw her just before I left Canada to come down here, to move here. I didn't think it was her. I didn't think it was her. And she used to have wine parties all the time. And now I guarantee she's whining. I didn't even know it was her. And you know what? Do we need to ferment anymore? No. And then the realization too is that everybody just buys into whatever story. There's 167 chemicals in a bottle of wine, unless it's organic. We just will put anything in our mouth, won't we? New and improved is a good one. Remember that one? I mean, that came out about when I was young, probably around 8 years old. New and improved. Wow, I want something new and improved. Yeah, it means that it had less nutrition and had more chemicals in it and had a lower vibration. That's all it meant. You cannot trust a corporation. You know, you can trust the farmer a lot of times, but you can't trust the corporation. All right, so anyways, the brain, we know the brain only works 10%. The other 90% is a storage area. And so what are you storing in there? Because that's going to decide what you put in your mouth. That's going to decide how well you digest it, assimilate it, and eliminate it. All of that. Isn't that crazy? This up here. And all this is, this organ here, I don't want to give it a lot of credit, okay? It's electrical. But the reality is, this here is mainly to produce chemicals and hormones, but they all depend on your emotion. So it's not like, so it actually takes its messages from you. Your emotions decide your life. Nobody told you that. Nobody told you that your emotions decide your life. That if you were to pick an emotion of just happiness and just ride with that, right? That's all you would have. And then people are going, yeah, but there's so many, and you know what? Anybody that's really happy all the time, you know, they're not very caring. Because unless there's suffering involved, okay, then you're not a very caring person. But we've already established that fact, that I'm not going to take anything personal, and I don't need your approval, that I'm going to be happy as much as I possibly can, you know? And the reality is nobody wants to hold the line, because you stick out. Who wouldn't want to stick out? Meanwhile, you want to stick out. You want people to notice you, but you don't want them to notice you. Well, please make up your mind. You know, okay, I want to grow, but I don't want to grow. And if you make me grow, I'm going to be really pissed at you, Daryl. But I paid a lot of money, and I better grow. Okay, all right, got it. Okay, I'll work with that. No, can't. I don't know what to do with it. And understand something. The first 3 days, we were like, right? Everybody's squirming, like, you know what I mean? Like, trying to bring out something that didn't belong in them. So the first thing we know that we got to do here is if we want to be healthy, we have to have healthy emotions. When's the last time, think about it, that you were angry and pissed off and you made a salad? And if you did, I guarantee you your finger was in it. Just a piece. Okay? So whenever you're angry and depressed, you look for something that vibrates at the same level. Donuts, ice cream. What? Wine. Yeah, wine. And not organic. It's got to have 167 chemicals in it. And then if you knew that if you're going to not get organic, all you had to do was structure it, and you're protected from the chemicals. That's what our structuring unit does. It'll protect you. People don't get that. People don't believe in miracles anymore. Okay? Well, there's one. Okay, that's a start. It only takes one. It's like one good bacteria can have trillions, right? We'll be talking about that in a few minutes when we get at the back door. But right now, you're at the front door. Okay? Okay. All right, so we need to be in the right emotional state if we want to create a masterpiece. I will never eat when I'm tired. I mean, if I haven't eaten all day, I'm going to come home and just make a blender drink. And that's it, I'm satisfied. How many people here get tired or upset and then they eat? Then you bloat, don't you? Or you can't sleep all night because guess what? You went and put yourself in the digestion phase and you were supposed to be in the assimilation phase right about here in the small intestine, right? So when you're supposed to be going into REM sleep, you can't get in REM sleep because by the time you're in REM sleep, okay, all right, you're in the digestion phase and that takes a lot of energy. That takes a lot of energy. So all the energy is in the core here. And it's supposed to be leveled out through the body and going, hey, we need repair over here. We need repair over here. And right here, we're trying to digest the food and break it down when it's supposed to be just being assimilated into the bloodstream to go to the cells to feed them. But if you have all this food that needs to be broken down, all the energy has to stay here. So when you wake up in the morning tired because you ate later, okay, you're only tired because you didn't get to go into repair. So let's take a look at it. From (12) until 8 o'clock, we could call that assimilation, but it really shouldn't be that long. But let's just, there's 3 8s, right? Make 24. So from 12 to 8, you could get away with it. But if you're going to eat any time after 7 o'clock, it better be a salad or a blender drink or a juice. If you eat after 8 o'clock, you've gone into what? What phase? Well, you're done your digestion phase. You're supposed to be doing your assimilation phase from what? 8 until 4. And that's the time that we're assimilating the nutrients. So if you're not assimilating, which doesn't take a lot of work because it's all just micronutrients floating around in your bloodstream, okay, going from your arteries to your arterioles, going into your cells. And then around 4 o'clock, we go into the elimination phase, and that means that around 4 o'clock in the morning, what you ate from 12 until, let's say, 5 has come down here through the small intestine, and it's been assimilated, okay? So from 8 o'clock in the morning, wait, now let me get this right. Okay, so, okay, Daryl, hold on here. So from 4 o'clock, okay? So from 4 o'clock until noon, that's 8 hours. Okay. So from 4 until noon, okay, let me 4 until noon. Boy, I can tell I need to eat. Okay, so from 4 until noon, it was in the small intestine, it was all liquid. When it comes into the cecum, okay, it's going to start getting, the liquid's going to be put into the body. And then it's going to start taking shape. And then by the time it comes down here, it looks like a stool. As long as you ate properly. You had enough fresh and raw, you had enough water that day. Because for most people, it doesn't happen like that. You're not on time. You know that if you're grunting and groaning, we're going to get into all that, that you didn't do it right. So there's rules, okay, but we've been ruled, schooled, and fooled. That's why 92% of the population has an autoimmune disease, and it's all because the assembly line or the highway of life did not move at the right time. Things did not happen at the right time. This is why anybody that works at nights has a really bad life. You're going against everything. You're going against the grain. Okay, so let's go through it. So from 12 until 8, that's when we should be eating. Understand something. You know how people say the most important meal of the morning is breakfast? Well, that's not true. It's only true if you were a farmer and you're going to go out and work hard labor. Then you would eat a big meal, and then you would eat again at lunch. Does life look like that today? Why are we living by the same rules? Breakfast, lunch, supper, maybe 2 or 3 snacks. Okay, so you know what they call us? Useless eaters. And they programmed you to do it. Now, what would a food corporation want you doing all the time? No, fasting. They want to go bankrupt. No. And then the corporations are owned by the psycho elite that created this thing called COVID. And guess what? They believe that they are actually the gods of Earth. And they go, you are stupid enough to eat our poison. So then they poison us. Corporations, what's the first 4 letters of corporation? Corpse. That's right, corpse. Corpse. And everything is there if you just look at the word. Break words up and their clues are there. Because there's a rule in the universe, and what is that? If you're going to poison someone, if you're going to murder them, all you got to do is tell them, I'm coming for you. Oh yeah, sure. Well, they're coming for us. This is called the harvest period for them. Right. Yeah, you got to understand something. They don't really feel about you. Okay, you're fuel. Like I told you before, in Monsters, Inc., okay, all right, that's not a cartoon. That's real. In Monsters, Inc., where they come in at nighttime and they scare the children, right? And the children would create energy for an evil system. And then somebody said, wow, let's bring down the evil system because guess what? Just as fear creates energy, which it does because it puts you into what? Fight, fright, take off, right? So you got your adrenaline. Your adrenaline gets all kinds of energy, and then what happens if we keep triggering that, we have no energy, it's been sucked out of us, and they're sucking it on us because they're vampires. And trust me, when I say they're vampires, let's go all the way with that one. Okay? So now, you have to understand why we got to where we got to is because the rules are all wrong. We don't food combine, we overeat, okay? Guess what we do? We've been taught to come home and bring our troubles to the table. Oh, if you're gonna give your kids shit, do it there. First make them eat it and then give it to them on an emotional and a physical level. Tell me we didn't do that, right? Yeah. And it needs to be a calm, beautiful, loving place. Because I don't care if you fed them organic and you put all the love in it. All you had to do is somebody at the table terrorizing them, and it's done. Okay, where do you think all the cramps came from? The diarrhea, the constipation, the headaches, the night terrors. You can't digest your food. The bloating, the colitis, the bleeding. Where do you think it all came from? Okay, so let's start off with our little story. So we know that we have to take back our brain, which you haven't had since you were in mommy's womb. It didn't really, they say, well, I can remember my spirit, but the reality is that we all know that our parents, God loved them, were adulterated. That's why it's called adulteration. And we know that I've only met, I think, 2 couples that actually had children that actually loved themselves and each other completely. So you can see why we're in a mess. Okay? Because really, nobody really knows the number, but just guesstimating 20,000 people have hogtied and 7 billion and are sending them off to the butchers right now. Health-wise too, right? We call that health. We call it healthcare, and doctors know nothing about health, right? Okay? And then we actually say, did you take your drugs, honey? Did you take your drugs, honey? Well, actually, you see, we are really dumb as a stump. We'll actually take a poison when we've poisoned ourselves that's caused the pain, the inflammation, and the swelling to tell the body to shut up. And then we wonder why we've got a tumor, why we have a heart attack, why we've got diabetes, why everybody is suffering with an autoimmune disease. Well, only 8% of the population doesn't have one. Isn't that cool? Okay, so we've been prepared for this. We've been spoiled rotten with their toxic foods. It's like this, everybody knows it, but nobody wants to talk about it because everybody's scared that they're going to come and get them. I think they're already coming to get us, aren't they? They don't seem to be too shy. Yeah. Oh, they're going to get you, Daryl. I'll pray for you. Really? No. They're getting the limpers. They're getting the victims. They're getting the people that will say, you can enslave me. You can do anything to me you want. They're coming for them. They're too busy. I mean, we've made it too easy. I mean, they're not going to get to me for a while. There's too many people in line saying, just take my life. Take everything. Okay? So, don't change your mind. You'll never change your body. Your disease was actually caused because you weren't in ease, because the thoughts and the programs you have in your brain, because it's just one big storage shed, were never yours. So let's talk about eating. First of all, you want a food combine. I'll go over it easy. You'll find it in your books. Never combine proteins and starches together. Now I'm going to have rice and beans today, right? Because beans are so good for my large intestine, and I really like that. And I still haven't been able to get the salads I want, but I am having a salad today. But there's times that I can go for days and all I'm doing is eating salads and juicing, or not eating hardly at all. But the rice and beans aren't going to bother me because I have very good digestion. Why do I have very good digestion? Can anybody tell me? Because it's not difficult for me to digest my emotions, because I'm not going to take on any negative emotions from you guys. I'll help you work through them, but I'm not going to suffer for you, and I'm not going to suffer for my family. I'm not going to suffer for my kids. I'm not going to suffer for the planet. Okay, somebody better keep a smile on their face while the shit's hitting the fan. Okay, there's a light over here. When you're done over there dramatizing, then come on over here. Okay? So the reality is I can mix rice and beans, but why is it that there's so many people in Mexico that eat rice and beans and they're bloated? Because they also eat flour products, right? They eat the tacos, the taco part. So that's the thing. Flour is like heroin. You didn't know that, did you? There's no good flour. There's better flours than other flours, but there's no good flour. Once you make flour, it's too light. It goes into the body, and it's just like taking sugar in. And then people go, well, it's gluten-free. Yeah, well, that's cardboard. You might as well eat a piece of cardboard. It'll digest the same. So the reality is it's just the next fad in the market, isn't it? This is called a whole life coach course. Well, with that comes whole foods. With this comes whole vibrational, emotional beliefs. They're whole. They're not pieces. That's why in almost all the supplements that we have are not supplements. They're energy nutraceuticals, and we keep them whole. We don't want to pull them apart. So what they do is they pull the food apart, in most cases, then they put it back together and they tell you this is what you need. Really? No, I think nature knows what I need. So, when it comes to animal proteins, never do. You ever see your meat and potato man? Don't you just love that he's going to give birth? Really? Okay? All right? What is he going to give birth to? Well, he's already got misery. And don't you just love it? You can go into any mall, just go there around 2 o'clock, because it takes them a little while to get out of bed. Okay? And they'll all be standing there and they'll be rubbing their bellies. Just rubbing it. Because they don't even realize it, but they're trying to calm down the baby that they don't have. Because that's actually the gas from the bad bacteria, from the poisoning, from the manure pile that they've become. Now they're rotten to the core, but we'll get into that after lunch. We have to go eat lunch and digest it before I start sticking everybody's head up their butt. Okay. So understand something. You are only as healthy and as strong as the tone in your core. And this is why they're taking you down. So when you go to work out, I'm going to the gym. Where's John? I'm going to the gym tonight. He would have thought about his arms, he would have thought about his legs, but he never would have thought about his core. And if he never worked on anything again but his core, he'd have strong arms and legs. If he only worked on his core, he would never fall down. I'm falling, I can't get up. I know you can. You got no tone. Okay? Your core's on the floor and so are you. It's all here. You don't pick things up with your back, you pick them up with your core. It's your core that you pick them up with. How do you poop? With your core, not with this. And then you go, oh, I got a hemorrhoid. Yeah, I guess you do. You blew it out. And then also, you now got a hiatal hernia. But then you blame it on your wife because you went to move the couch for her, and it was just that little thing. So that means that, guess what, men? Never move a couch, you're going to get a hiatal hernia. No, never get married because she'll want you to move the couch. So we'll talk about that when we go over here and look at the big chart. So we don't want to mix starches and proteins together because they're going to rot. Starch foods and protein foods, when they come together, okay, they neutralize each other's enzymes. So just know this. Every time that you feel tired after a meal, you shouldn't have eaten it. Every time you're bloated after a meal, you shouldn't have eaten it. Every time that you can't focus and you feel foggy after that meal, you shouldn't have eaten it. My God, that means I can never eat again. Well, that might be good. So, fruit should always travel alone. You know, people love fruit bowls. If you make a fruit bowl, just make it with different melons. They can go together, but melons don't like traveling with other fruit. Okay? All right? So it's better to just eat one fruit. And also, remember something. If you're feeling really lightheaded, why would you eat fruit? Fruit is growing up high. So if you felt lightheaded, you should be eating something that's grown on the ground or rooted into the soil. Because that's going to ground you. Now, if you're feeling really sluggish, why would you eat a dead animal? How many dead animals does it take for you to be alive? Okay, so how much energy do you get from a dead animal? Live foods give life and dead foods give what?
You get a lot of minerals and vitamins from red meat. It's grass-fed, grass-finished organs.
Oh, that's such crap. You get a lot of minerals and vitamins from red meat. No, you don't.
Especially more bioavailable.
No, you don't. 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 First of all, you want to be blood type O. Then you want to make sure that you chewed it very well. That every piece of meat that you take in is you can drink it before you swallow it. And you don't do that. You swallow in chunks. Yeah, that's why you're so acidic. That's why you're crystallized. Yeah, and you just lied, and I'm not going to let anybody. Don't believe a word he said about that, about the vitamins and minerals you get from meat.
That's what I read in the book.
Oh, isn't that really nice? Okay, I hope you don't read a lot of books. I just want to make myself perfectly clear. We're not trying to make him wrong, but I don't want him spreading manure. Okay, you know what? Okay, so guess what? I don't eat meat. Okay, I'll kick your butt any day, and I bet you I've got 20, 30 years on you.
You eat fish?
Huh?
You eat fish?
That's not meat. And I hardly ever eat fish, but I eat fish for the taste. I don't eat because I think I need it. Okay? It's all just a lie, John. Okay? Yeah, it's a lie. Yeah, I think we've done enough harm, don't you? Okay. Yeah. What?
Complex amino acids.
What about them?
You take those instead of protein.
Well, first of all, understand something. If you can see the food, it has amino acids. Every food has amino acids. You've just been sucker punched. Now, there are better foods with amino acids, SON formula and Amino Boost. They're loaded with amino acids. If you want to build muscle or tone, or if you've got cancer, you need amino acids. But guess what? If you have cancer and you eat animal protein, you're going to get more what? More cancer. Because people with cancer haven't digested anything for 15 years. It's been rotting in them.
What about collagen?
What about collagen?
Bone broth?
I'm not going with it.
Okay.
I'm not going to go with it. But I'm not telling you bone broth is not great, but I don't want to do bone broth because guess what? It's too risky. Most of those animals have cancer.
And glyphosate, the collagen,
Yeah, I know, but the problem is too is that most of those animals can have cancer. What are you going to do with that one?
Less my milk before I did. So I'd get organic grass fed. I mean, if I did.
Okay, first of all, we're not going down this road. I am not going down this road because this road has been proven to be wrong, but guess what? Advertising pays. Advertising pays. Okay, let's get back on track. So the reality is if you're going to eat an animal protein, you better not eat 2 different ones at one meal because you're toast now. And if you're going to eat an animal protein, whatever amount you're taking right now, you better only eat 1/3. And then when you do eat 1/3 of that animal protein, you better chew it until it's a liquid. So we want to drink our solids. Did you hear me? We want to drink our solids and what? Chew our liquids. And that's it. Because anything that you can mix with the saliva in your mouth is going to help it break down. And it's going to help to kick in the hydrochloric acid in your stomach, which we're going to go through in a few minutes here. I just switched off again. Okay? All right. So, we know that fruit should be eaten alone. It's better to eat one fruit than eat a whole bunch of different ones, believe it or not. If you want to be efficient. Now, what have they taught us? They've taught us to put everything and anything into our mouth. They've taught us that the more we put into our mouth, it's okay, it's just the tugboat going by. They taught that the variety is the spice of life, but that's only with salads. It's only with salads.
Fruit salads?
Rainbow salad. No, I didn't say fruit salad.
That's what I was asking.
No, I said no to fruit salad. I already told you no. Okay, it can upset you. But some of you need to have upset to get things moving, right? So what we do is we'll eat fruit when we're lower, and when we're higher, we'll eat vegetables or we'll eat root vegetables, right? Because we want to get grounded. So we can overdo things. We don't want to do that. Okay? All right. So, we definitely do. The more concentrated the food is, right? Like even beans, they're very concentrated. Everybody, if you eat too many beans, how do you feel? You're bloated. You're constipated. You'll have a headache. So even when it comes to beans, you can get too much concentrated protein. Now, there's amino acid. Okay, so protein has to be broken down, right? Okay? Protein has to be broken down, so that takes a lot of energy. So now John's going to tell me he gets a lot of energy from animal protein, and I'll tell him it's not true. But he believes it, because whatever you believe, it will really help you in creating things. Okay? I always thought she loved me. My God, she hasn't loved me in 20 years. I just woke up to that fact. You can believe whatever you want, but the mind is very powerful. So if you believe that a product's good for you, it's going to lean more to being good for you even if it isn't. But what if the product was good for you and you believed it? Do you think we'd have a little more energy and a better chance of staying healthy? So I know there's mind over matter, but that's only going to work until what? Until your battery goes down. John, you had more energy when you were 6, and then you had energy still when you were 16, but when you were 26, you lost 20%. Yeah, I think I'll cut down on the partying. I'm not recuperating the same. Yeah, I know, John, wipe the drool off. Okay, so, and then by 36, okay, all right. Okay, I've got to really evaluate things. By 46, okay, all right.
I'm fine. I'll be fine by the time I'll get mine together.
Yeah, just do lots of collagen and eat lots of meat. Okay.
I could blend the meat maybe into juice.
You know what, buddy? Whatever it takes to try to get it in, just stuff it in. Maybe what you should do is maybe try to come up through this way.
Maybe I can grow some more teeth on that end.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. The way that you eat, you think you have dentures in your stomach. Chew on that. I never liked them. That's why I can't digest them. It's already giving me gas. You're lucky this is a family show. Okay, all right. Okay, so food combining is important. Just, you know, I mean, fruit's really a good thing. Then there's people that are fruitarians, not really the smartest thing in your life that you could do. Then there's vegetarians, and guess what? They're unhealthy. Okay, because vegetarians can eat crackers, Ritz crackers. They could do fake meat. They can do fake cheese. Okay, they can do fake everything. I'm a vegetarian. That's good. You look pale and you don't have a lot of energy, and you probably don't think right. And I'm not picking on every vegetarian, so please. I really believe that you need to be a whole plant-based eater. I think the more sunlight, okay, the more life, the more there's life in something, the better, right? The better it is. The sooner it was picked, the fresher it is. Local's always best. Whole plant-based is best. Something with enzymes, lots of minerals, okay? Lots of vitamins in it. Lots of water, structured water. Did you know there's only structured water in fruit and vegetables? It's already structured. Isn't that amazing? So let's eat life. So always ask yourself, when you look at a food, will this fill me or feed me? Okay? Can I digest this? But basically, what is the one thing we ask John? The majority. Will it fit? And if it doesn't, I probably could make it fit. Just shove it in. And you can see the body shapes here, and you can tell what people are shoving in, right? You can look at their skin condition. You can look at the tone. You can look at how they think. You can look how they walk. You can look about everything about somebody, and you know what their diet's like. Wow. There's a lot of love in that diet. So the more that man touches something, the less we want to do what, John?
The less we want to eat.
Eat it.
Yep.
That's right. That's right. Okay? And the older it is, John, the less we want to what?
The less we want to eat it.
Thank you. Okay. And if you buy something and it never goes bad, how often do you want to eat it?
Never.
Okay, but then why are you doing all of those things, John?
Okay. I'm not from today. I'm having a.
Oh, from today?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Somebody get the time, please. I want to record this because John says he's going to hang around. John, I'm going to have cameras everywhere. And understand something. These people, they like me more than you. So you're not. Where are you going to go and eat now, John?
Well, in the restaurant. Take a chance.
We'll be there.
Maybe I'll take it to the bathroom.
Well, you will be taking it to the bathroom if you make the wrong choice. And you'll be taking it really quick.
Yeah. And I'll be
You are in Mexico. Okay.
Might need someone to come and get me out of the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of takers on that one. Okay, all right. Okay, so before we eat, wouldn't it be great if we did some lion heart breathing? And then guess what? We didn't just bless the farmer, but we blessed the food that was giving its life. You know, I could have been a broccoli before I was this. I could have been, and I don't really care for broccoli. But the thing is that I really believe that we move up the evolutionary scale, you know? And everything has a vibration, everything has a frequency. Yes, I believe that the vegetable was grown and it's okay to give up its life to become part of me. But the thing is wouldn't it be great if we were thankful for it every meal? And that's what I do every meal. I don't pray over the meal. I thank the food for giving its life to me. So do whatever you need to do. And then also, if you know you're in a hurry, don't eat. And if you're in a really big hurry, just make a smoothie. That's the deal. So if you're in a hurry, eat things that don't take a lot of energy to digest. If you're not in a hurry, then we know that there's going to be energy to digest, but don't be in a hurry if it's a dead animal or concentrated protein or you miscombined because it needs to stay in your mouth longer. How do you lose weight? I just told you. That's how you lose weight. How do you stay healthy? I just told you. I just told you how to stay healthy. And then the reality is if you have to drink water at your meal, just know you're already dehydrated. You already have brain burn. You should never have to drink at a meal. So you have to drink at a meal. And if you have to drink a lot of the meal, okay, it's like you're trying to get the logs down to the mill because you're so dry. And then if you have to drink at a meal, it's because you don't chew your food long enough. But then, yeah, but I have to drink water because my food doesn't get wet. Well, that's because there's no fluids in your body. So that might be telling you something. You know what? You know who survived the Holocaust and in those camps? They would get very little food. And here's something that I was told, okay, by somebody that was in the Second World War. And he used to come in for colonics when I had a colon therapy clinic back when I was 27 years old. And he said, "Do you know how I made it?" I said, "How?" He said, "Well, I wanted to live, but whenever people would get their food, okay, whether it was rat or what it was, okay, he said they would eat it so fast they wouldn't chew it. He said what I would do is I'd hang my head like this, and people thought I was sad, but I hung my head like this and I chewed it until it dissolved in my mouth. There was nothing to go in here, so it went down as such a micronutrient. He said it satisfied me. And everybody else, they were starving. Because the reality is, the smaller you break up the food, the more the enzymes can wrap around it to grab the nutrients to take into your cells. You only digest the surface of your food. So the reality is, the bigger the chunks, okay, the bigger the blocks in your digestive tract, until you're going to have impaction or things grow inside of you. Because if the food is not broken down into a small particle, the hydrochloric acid can't pick it up and the pepsin can't pick it up. So what happens if you're talking a lot while you're eating? Well, you usually find that you're choking on your food. So you're talking and then you're drinking, or when you're stressed out, you're drinking a lot, right? You're drinking a lot. Because when you're stressed out, you know that you're creating a fire from the adrenaline, and you're actually not drinking to try to wash the food down, but you're actually drinking to try to put the fire out. So this is why you don't do that. When you're stressed out, you should only be drinking water. You should be calming yourself down into the lion heart breathing. Get yourself back into a parasympathetic state. Because if you're in a fight or fright state at all, you didn't digest. I have bowel problems. No, you don't. You have settling yourself down problems before you eat. If you're not in a calm state, okay, then it has to rot. It has to rot. What if you were just to calm down? You wouldn't have to eat so much, would you? Right? And what if you were tired and you just closed your eyes for 5 minutes? What would happen? Most of the time when we're tired or we can't think or we're hungry, we're actually dehydrated. We're dehydrated. Oh, I need energy. Well, if they could make a ton of money from water, they'd be telling you that, when you're hungry, go have a glass of water, if they could make a lot of money off of it. But the reality is, if you replaced it with water, you'd live longer and you wouldn't have all these sicknesses, because water puts out a fire. Food doesn't put out a fire. Food takes so much attention when you're being stressed out and you're inflamed, or you've got swelling, or you've got joint pain. It's never going to go away, because now the energy has to go and digest the food, where if you just did water, it would help to put out the fire. But actually breathing would have did it better, just connecting to the lion heart breath. Or why not getting stressed out in the first place? Yeah, but then if I didn't get stressed out, then that means I don't care. At least if I'm really like, if I get stressed out and I can't digest my food and I'm sick later, then I showed everybody that I love them. Welcome to your world. Okay, so soon as we take a look at food, our mouth waters. What an imagination, eh? You can recall the last time you ate it and how it made you feel. So this is why when I tell you, if you want to relive your horror stories, your dramas, your traumas, your body doesn't know the difference. You know that if you really wanted to do this, you could do it. Picture having a big meal in front of you, your favorite meal. Imagine yourself, first you see the meal, your mouth starts to water, right? Next thing you're going to do is imagine yourself starting to eat it. Now take about 20 minutes to imagine yourself eating that meal, and I guarantee that you'll be full. You'll be full. Because why? Because it was the vibration, and you'll be satisfied. I shouldn't say full, because this is the one we really love, right? Because we're so commercialized. Honey, are you full yet? No, there's a little more room. So, you'll be satisfied. So, we need to be satisfied, not full. Because if you're full, then you're going to be full of it. Because you're not going to digest it properly, and then it's going to rot inside of you. Oh, I don't know why I can't get it up anymore. Oh, I don't know why I have bladder infections. Oh, I don't know why I have fibroids. Oh, I don't know why I have endometriosis. I don't know why I have infertility issues. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why I have low back problems. Well, because your food's rotting. And it all started here. But the problem is, so if we got the food combining right, if we calmed ourselves down, if we don't chew it until the physical becomes the invisible. Did you get that? The invisible creates the physical, but when you're eating something physical, make it invisible, and guess what? You'll have a healing. Chew it until there's nothing, and see what happens. So now we come in and we chew it, and then we swallow it. Here's the problem. Did you know that if you stress out, you won't dump the hydrochloric acid and the pepsin to actually digest the food? Here's the domino right here. If you start off and you miscombine, you eat when it's too late, you eat when you're angry, all because the hydrochloric acid and the pepsin could not do their job, you've got 30 feet of hell. And you're going to go to the doctor, and he's going to go, just take one of these and don't call me in the morning, because they don't want you calling them. So just take one of these and don't call me in the morning. And if that doesn't work, come back and we'll give you something stronger. So what's the best way to destroy your stomach is to take antacids. It's the best way to destroy your stomach. It's the best way to get cancer. It's the best way to get gastric ulcers. It's the best way to get heartburn. It's what? Well, yeah, because all that acid is going to eat away your bones. Because remember something, the more inflamed you get, the more acidic you are. Hydrochloric acid is a good guy. Okay? All right? When you're spewing hydrochloric acid up into your lungs, that's stress. You need to calm down. You have turned this into a volcano, and now you're spewing it up. You can get throat cancer. The acid will get in here, and you feel like you're going to die, and you can't breathe. But those type of people learn to, it all starts here. You need to change the brain. You need to stop pushing the anxiety button. You need to calm down. Yes?
Sorry, my father has Crohn's disease, and I'm watching him pop like Imodium, Pepto-Bismol, and Tums all day long.
He's on his way out.
And
So he's on his way out. So if he's doing Tums and Pepto-Bismol, what he should be doing is baking soda. And it doesn't matter. It can be Arm & Hammer. If you told your dad to do a teaspoon of baking soda, okay, don't wait for the heartburn, don't wait for the indigestion, just do it, maybe an hour on an empty stomach when he gets up in the morning, and he can do it up to 3 times a day. if he starts to feel heartburn, or you know when you feel really stressed out and you feel like you're going to pop, like it's really like tight, you're like, oh man, I just feel so stressed everywhere. You just feel so tight. Take a teaspoon of baking soda, put it in a glass of warm water, you'll burp, you'll fart a little bit, and you'll go, oh my God, relief. Because the reality is there's too much acid in your body, and it's eating away at your bones, at your joints, at your tendons, ligaments, and organs. And it's burning out your nervous system. Okay? So that's what they're doing right now, is if we can terrorize everybody continually, they won't just have Crohn's disease. They'll have suicides. They'll have every autoimmune disease going. We will be, did you know that right now, since COVID, they have increased sales in big pharma by 20 to 25% every month. Every month, because people are getting sicker. Because those who have bad habits, they're getting worse. Those who do not know that it's okay to self-love and self-care, and that you don't need to suffer for everybody in the world, and if you do, you're going to kill yourself. You do notice how we don't talk about anything except ourselves and how to enrich our lives here, right? There's a reason for it. We're trying to show people that it's okay to care about yourself. And your father does not love himself. And your father is not stupid. Your father has been programmed, okay, to feed these psycho killers like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Royals. I could keep going, but they own all of the corporations. They own the government, and they could give a shit about your father. If we could just take the program out of your father that he is not a bad boy, he is not unworthy, that he is worth all the love in the world, that God has never ever judged you. These rules for fools have schooled us into killing us ourselves. And that's the problem. The program's so deep that we need to punish ourselves for all our unworthiness. You couldn't make me feel bad if you tried. But it wouldn't be hard for your father, because he has bad beliefs. He's not a bad person. People that have disease today are not bad people. They're not weak people. They have weak beliefs. They have bad beliefs. They have toxic beliefs. That's all. They're beautiful spirits with beautiful hearts, but they don't know how to fill up their heart. They were told that they were supposed to get their love from everybody else, from you. I'll have more children. They'll fill my heart. How hard is it to try to reach your father? Very hard.
Yeah, I try to plant seeds in his mind about the way she might believe, and
Yeah.
I read it, it seems so, you got blinders on.
He doesn't have blinders on. You got to understand something. He doesn't have blinders on. How old is he?
Like 63.
63 years. Oh, what does he do for a living?
He's a developer and a builder.
He's a builder. So he built things all his life. He never studied anything about nutrition, detoxification, about nature, about love. He has no blinders on. He's programmed.
We went on a hike.
You went on a hike?
West Coast Trail.
Yeah.
Big one.
Yeah.
His Crohn's never bothered him once on the whole hike. As soon as you get back to the city, it's...
That's right. As soon as he got back in the city. Because he went back to the program. See, the thing is this. I think you all know this. If you didn't do something that was completely different, you would never have something different. But people go, I don't like to change. Well, the reality is what I tell you the other day. If somebody said, I have cancer, what should I do? Well, unless the person totally is behind you, totally loves you, leave everybody behind. And go somewhere else and discover yourself, learn how to love yourself, because you have the cancer because of that family. Because of those family beliefs, not because of any individual member, but it's everybody in the family. You can only be as healthy as the 5 people you hang around with. So I'm not hanging around with you, John. I'm sorry, buddy. Okay?
Oh, you said sorry. You're supposed to.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm coming. Oh, guess what? It's lunch. I'm not coming back. It's Braveheart. Let's go eat.
Here?
Is it what?
Who's got the van key?
I don't know. Is it here? You know, it's not good enough to have the most powerful courses, treatments, and training. We want to deliver to you the adventure of a lifetime that's going to last a lifetime. And I'm going to take you on a little adventure right now and show you what we are going to deliver. What are we going to deliver? We are going to deliver the authentic you, the real you, the genius inside. How would you like to become not just the master of your mind, but the master of your body, the master of your life? You know what? The most important world is your world, and we're about to show you how to create it. Never limit yourself to beautiful, because that's what you are. Take a look at this beautiful place. We all deserve beauty in our life. You need to create a new program that is unlimited when it comes to things that are beautiful, things that make you happy, things that make you shine, things that make you feel excited. Let's get excited. What I've learned in my life is this: to be the change you wish to be the change you wish to see, Braveheart, you have to understand you take life one step at a time. Never lose your focus. Never lose your dream, because you are the dream maker. It's called image, but guess what? It's your imagination. The image that you hold creates the thought that you live with. That thought creates an emotion that creates a frequency, and we know that the invisible creates the physical. I mean, that's quite obvious. So be the power that you seek, and understand something, that all your thoughts matter. And guess what? Unless you're willing to take a look at those thoughts and retrain your brain, change your personality, you'll never change your reality, and your reality could become infinite. You were created by your creator to create. So let's create something amazing together. So tell me what you think of the destination that I came up with my imagination to hold the whole life coach certification for you. Understand something. It's all about beauty. It's all about adventure. It's all about stimulating the mind, okay? And understanding that your mind is unlimited. And that is what the whole life coach certification is all about. In the whole life coach certification, we are going to go deeper. We have people coming to us, professionals coming to us, from doctors to nurses to accountants to oil riggers to mothers that want to expand their life. And when they come here, they go, I need to learn to help my family, or I want to improve my business. But guess what? We get into their business. When they leave, they become the change that they wish to see, that they wish to be. They become the gift to the world, because when you can stay in the present, and you can't do that until you have unconditional love and care for yourself. And I'll tell you something right now. I have hardly even found 1 out of 1,000 practitioners, or even so-called whole life coaches, that can hold the present moment and own it and then give it as a gift. And this is what I'm going to give to you. And when you come here, this is where you're going to come into this room when you need to find alignment, you need to find balance, and you need to get back into your lion heart breath, because we're going to go deep into your heart, and we're going to become the spark that you seek. Come play, come stay, come train with us today. Understand something. I know we have fear. but understand, that's just false evidence appearing real. I get it. Stick your toe in, feel the water, but then I want you to dive right in because you're the answer that you've been looking for. Let me teach you how to fly. What does that mean? First, love yourself, Braveheart. Let's take life in and win. I had a dream 3 years ago that I would live in Mexico and I would have this training center, this teaching center, this treatment center that would touch the world. Your dreams are never too big. And when they start to create a little bit of anxiety, turn them into excitement. And get excited because this is your life. And this, my friend, when you take on the dream of all dreams and you realize that if you stay connected to your breath, that you can have it all. Do not let anybody take your breath away. Do not let anybody steal your dream, okay? Listen, God gave you imagination. This is your sandbox of life. Take your life back. Right now, we are teaching courses to people that have come from all over the world, and the government is saying you can't travel, you can't breathe, you can't have this, you can't come together. Yes, we will. And we will do it with unconditional love for each other. And we will learn to grow. We will not judge each other. We'll observe and see where we can support each other. But at the same time, we will hold the Braveheart line because this is the only way that we can grow. So find your roar because you're so much more. And learn this. You are the unconditional love that you've been looking for. You are the dream maker. I can't wait to see you. We want to become that small piece of the puzzle that brings your dream together. Thank you. Good day, I'm Dr. Darrell Wolf. Do you know why you or your friends or your family are struggling with their health? Well, because they've never been given a strategy. And every time they go to see a health practitioner, whether it's medical or natural, all they're doing is getting Band-Aids. What if we were able to create a strategy that you could create the perfect day from the minute you woke up until you went to bed, and then we continue to guide and support you along your journey as you grow, your program grows. And what if you only paid one price, and you had unlimited support and guidance for the rest of your life? That's called the Perfect Day Consultation. Let me ask you a question. What do you think it would take to turn your life around? I can tell you right now, I learned that a long time ago, what the key was. And anybody that has been able to perfect the perfect day on an emotional, physical, and spirit level knows this. The answer is massive, personal action. That's what it's going to take for you to turn your life around. And to turn your life around, you're going to have to go within if you want to change without. And that's the bottom line. And you know, people think that they can do it like with a consultation, or maybe they can do it with a telephone call or a Band-Aid or a 911 emergency, a treatment. But understand, that's not the way it is. The day that you realize that when you master your mind is the only time you're going to master your body. Forget your life. That's always going to be just random luck until you know that you must become the master of your day. From the moment you rise until you gently close your eyes, you must be the only authority for you. And if you think that getting an hour consultation is going to do it, it's not. If you think that going for therapy is going to do it, it's not. You have to submerge yourself into what we would call the personal treatment and training. Let me ask you a question. What do you think it would take to turn your life around? I can tell you right now, I learned that a long time ago, what the key was. And anybody that has been able to perfect the perfect day on an emotional, physical, and spirit level knows this. The answer is massive, personal action. That's what it's going to take for you to turn your life around. And to turn your life around, you're going to have to go within if you want to change without. And that's the bottom line. And you know, people think that they can do it like with a consultation, or maybe they can do it with a telephone call, or a Band-Aid, or a 911 emergency, a treatment. But understand, that's not the way it is. The day that you realize that when you master your mind is the only time you're going to master your body. Forget your life. That's always going to be just random luck until you know that you must become the master of your day. From the moment you rise until you gently close your eyes, you must be the only authority for you. And if you think that getting an hour consultation is going to do it, it's not. If you think that going for therapy is going to do it, it's not. You have to submerge yourself into what we would call the personal treatment and training. And you need to do that from anywhere from 6 days to 10 days. Or you need to come for my whole life coach certification, because if you don't go in deep, you'll never make changes. They say it takes 10,000 times for you to repeat something before it becomes a prominent, dominant thought. And if you understood that 70 to 90% of all your thoughts are not yours, and they say that 70% of your thoughts are toxic, tell me they're not. Take a look at the majority of the population. 92% of the population has an autoimmune disease, which means the body is attacking itself. Before that, though, the person was attacking themselves on a subconscious, unconscious level. And that, my friend, is the bottom line, and why you must take a personal treatment and training and go deep and understand how to run your life. What that means is learning how to think, how to drink, how to eat, and knowing when somebody is mistreating you, when someone is disrespecting you, because until you honor and respect yourself, no one else is going to do it. So understand, this is your life. If you want to live your passion and purpose, then you must become the master of your mind to become the master of your body, so that you can become the light for your family. So please, consider this. You've got the time and you've got the money, because you're going to change the rest of your life for the rest of your life, and that's my guarantee to you.